to Breaking the Cycle, ang podcast kung saan ang usapan ay totoo, puno ng kwento at handang makinig sa'yo. I am Kai, and in this episode, you will join me to have an open conversation about mental health here in the Philippines. And we are going to shed some light on a condition that is often misunderstood, yet very present in many Filipino lives. So this is bipolar affective disorder, or what we call BPAD. Syempre, bago tayo magsimula, kaunting background lang kung tungkol saan ang bipolar. Because honestly, kahit ako, I don't have a lot of knowledge about what bipolar is. So as a person who's definitely active in social media, marami na ako nakikitang comments like, sinasabi nila, pagod lang yan, face lang, or kaartehan. Basically, people who don't have the right information about it and saying that this is just a mood swing. And in the Philippines, despite of the Mental Health Act of 2018, a lot of people still lack of awareness. Many live years without diagnosis because symptoms are mistaken for stress, burnout, or personality quirks. So we're here to discuss and also have the real conversation of what this episode about. Kung ano ang bipolar, paano ito nakakaapekto sa buhay ng tao, at paano tayo makapagbibigay suporta sa mga ito. Well, this episode is for you. And to know deeper about this, we'll first have a conversation with our first guest. Let's welcome Frances. So she's a college student who has generously agreed to share her experiences with us. At syempre, may mga katanungan tayo para sa kanya at para magkwentuhan na rin. Hi, Frances.
Hi.
So first of all, thank you. Thank you for being with us, for being with me, and we truly appreciate your willingness para makasama in this episode. But before everything else, kamusta?
I'm okay. Okay ako. Totally right now.
That's good, that's good. Pero, pwede mo bang maikwento sa akin kung anong naging buhay mo about your bipolar?
Yeah. So, it started around when I was in senior high school. So, very early, parang na-realize ko na there are points in my life na I'm happy. Sagad-sad yung happiness. And then, biglang parang mag-snap, sobrang down ako. So parang sabi ko, there's something wrong. At first, diagnosed ako with clinical depression. So, walang gamot, parang breathing exercises lang for my panic attacks. And then, last year, October, parang sabi ko, I needed help. Kasi there's so much na nadadown ako. May suicidal thoughts na. Not just thoughts, but attempts na hindi natatapos. Though puro ako sugat, puro ako bruises. So, last year, October 7, 2024, I decided na pumunta sa psychiatrist. Kasi sabi ko, hindi na tama, hindi na ako to. Parang, hindi na to yung Frances na kinalakihan ko, parang ganun. So, that's the point na na-diagnose ako with bipolar disorder type 2. So, more on the depressing side. Hindi siya yung more on the manic side.
Pero before ka magpatingin sa doctor, parang may napansin ka bang any symptoms na sa tingin mo?
Symptoms. So, nag-start lang siya, yun nga, yung sobrang down ako. Parang, walang nagsasatisfy na pag down ako, parang, down lang ako. I shut people out. I don't talk to anyone.
But, meron bang isang tao or like family ang nag-push sa'yo to visit a doctor?
Yes. Yung mom ko ang nagsabi sa akin na, I think you needed help. Kasi I have a kid.
Oh, okay.
He's 3 years old. So, if I didn't ask for help, paano yung kid ko if I lost this battle? So, yon, mom ko ang nag-push sa akin.
So, are there like any medications na you're taking?
Yeah, right now I'm taking 2 medicines every night to keep me na hindi nagigising out of nowhere. And siguro yun lang yung nagsistabilize ng emotions ko.
Pero, syempre, baka pag nagtitake ka na ng maintenance, ang daming adjustments. So, ano yung mga napansin mong pinagkaiba?
Nung parang first few days na nagtitake ako ng medicine, nagigising ako na nanginginig ako. Na as in, para ako nag-chills. And it will last the whole day na nagpa-palpitate ako. Sobrang adjustment din sa food. Kasi para akong gutom na gusto ko lang kumain, gusto kong matulog maghapon. Pero siguro if ma-regulate mo, ngayon may parang time ako para mag-drink ng meds, kaya 9 p.m. Then probably by 11, 12 tulog na ako. Then yung gising ko ng 5:30 or 6, parang hindi na siya bago sa akin. So parang normal na siya, hindi na ako nanginginig, wala nang urgeness to stress eat, gano'n.
Knowing but you said you have a child, right?
Yeah.
So, ilan taon na yung child mo?
3 years old.
3 years old. Sobrang hirap nun.
Yes. Kasi
Pero
may
okay, I'm gonna ask you one question lang din. Kapag, yung episodes, inaatake ka, right? So, may someone ba na nag-guide sa'yo or like, trying na, para pigilan ka whenever you have those episodes?
Ngayon, parang recently nag-episode ako na sabi ko, I'm sad, parang nagbe-breakdown ako. Reach out ako sa boyfriend ko. So sa kanya ako nagsabi na I'm not okay, I'm down. Tapos parang he's there to calm me na it's gonna be okay, it's not gonna be that hard. So kailangan hinga ka lang kasi hindi pwedeng mag-stop na naman ako dun eh. So I have to keep going. Parang gano'n.
Ano yung pinaka-worst na experience about bipolar?
Pinaka-worst, self-harm.
Self-harm talaga.
Self-harm talaga. That's the point na feeling mo wala ka ng kakampi.
Yeah.
Wala na eh, parang kahit ang daming nagsasabi na may kakampi ka, nandito kami, parang feeling mo wala. Kasi sa bipolar, there are voices. Parang there's voices at the back of your head na, you're not worth it. It's okay to die. They don't need you anyways, parang ganun. Pero, syempre, you have to fight with the voices na, hindi, I know my worth, I know someone na isusupport ako, parang ganun. Mahirap, pero kung gugustuhin mong lumaban, kakayanin mo.
This is so hard for you, actually.
Yeah.
Right now, are you okay?
I won't say I'm okay totally kasi there's episodes eh. Pero kung right now, I'm okay, I'm happy, I have my family, my friends. Pero if there will be chances, sabihin ko, I'm not really okay. Pero it's part of being bipolar eh.
Yeah.
You're not going to be okay talaga.
Pero how do you cope sa mga ganitong bagay?
I sleep.
Sleep na lang.
Hindi. Sometimes I go out with friends, go out with my boyfriend, I go out with my family. Pero ako, parang ang armor ko ngayon, prayers.
Yeah, that's true.
Prayers.
It's always prayers
Yeah,
talaga.
prayers.
Pero, syempre, before we end, ano yung mga pwede mong may advice to all people just like you or having this kinds of, experiences?
Advice. It's not gonna be easy. It will be hard talaga to cope up. Pero you should always know your worth.
Yes.
You should know na there's people around you na isusupport ka and mamahalin ka. And always pray. Kasi prayer works.
Maraming salamat, Frances.
Thank you.
I know this conversation must have been hard for you and a little bit of heaviness. But, we truly understand your life right now, and me and my team truly appreciate your time, your presence, and especially your story. And napakalaking bagay nito sa episode natin dahil for sure, maraming makaka-relate and appreciate ng story ni Frances. And Frances, the process where you are right now, the journey where you are right now is truly valid, right? I mean, you are growing, you are moving, and you are healing. Thank you, Francis. Thank you. And there, this is just the first part of our episode because we still have our another guest. And this person will be the key to all people who are struggling with bipolar or experiencing something that is not yet sure. Say hello to our second guest, Professor Ron Avila. So he is a psychologist and mental health advocate, and you may recognize him from his future Billionario News channel where he discussed mental health awareness. So sir, magandang araw.
Magandang araw sa iyo, Kai, and thank you very much for inviting me here.
Sure. So, alam mo sir, bago ka palang umupo, ramdam ko na yung lalim ng storya at syempre yung mga maraming impormasyon na maikikwento mo at maiibahagi sa ating episode ngayon. But before anything else, sir, kamusta ang pagiging isang professor and bilang psychologist?
Mahirap siya kasi technically may problema tayo sa bilang psychologist muna. Maraming taong may mental health problems ngayon and nagkaroon ng rise and also silent pandemic yung term nila yun sa mga nangyari nung after pandemic. So maraming tao nagkaroon ng maraming malalang psychological illnesses that are not reported. At dahil nga meron tayong stigma sa mental health, Filipino doesn't really have or give importance sa mga taong nagkakaroon nito or nagsasuffer ng iba't ibang mental illness. So, yung bilang professor, makikita sa mga kabataan ngayon kung gaano sila ka-aware sa mental health conditions nila. And marami rin mga estudyante na mas nagiging open in discussing this kind of topics.
Sir, nabanggit mo kasi yung the word stigma. Ano kaya yung mga common misconception about, bipolar?
Depende kasi sa types ng bipolar. So, ang one, ito yung technically mas malala. So, nagkakaroon sila ng manic episode, meron silang suicidal ideation. So, when I say manic episode, ito yung sobrang energetic nila na nakikita mo yung mga friends mo na parang pumaparty araw-araw, nagwawalis ng madaling araw, tapos daming ginagawa, sobrang manic nila, so sobrang energetic nila. And after nun, sobrang depressed naman nila. So may or may not manifest depression, but sobrang manic nila. So yun yung bipolar 1. So ang bipolar 2 naman, mas nakafocus siya sa depression mismo. So mas madalas, meron siyang manic episode, pero mas madalas yung depression niya. So I think it's less severe compared sa bipolar 1. So, ang misconception madalas sa mga taong ganun is, una, nagdadrugs. Kasi sino ba naman matinong tao nagwawalis ng madaling araw, di ba nag-aayos ng electric fan?
Yes.
Or di kaya pumaparty everyday, or di kaya hindi napapagod, or gusto laging lumalabas. So, technically, misconception, laging nagdadrugs, or meron siyang ADHD. So, ang mga taong may bipolar 1 kasi, they tend to have this tendency na magkaroon ng risky behaviors dahil sa mania nila. So, they have this probability na mag-take ng drugs, magkaroon ng multiple partners, magkaroon ng maraming jowa, magkaroon ng multiple sexual partners dahil nga sobrang manic nila, gusto nilang kumikilos palagi. Eh nagiging toxic sila kasi part ng pagiging manic is yung pagiging irritable. Sobrang irritable nila sa araw-araw, lagi sila nagwawala. Or pag di sila nagwala, lalabas sila ng bahay or di kaya magdadrugs sila. So, sobrang comorbid. Ibig sabihin ng comorbid, dalawang sakit ang nag-i-exist sa mga taong may bipolar 1. So, sa mga bipolar 2, madalas sa kanila may hypomania sila. So, hindi sila lumalabas ng bahay, hindi gumagalaw.
So, meron ba sir iba't ibang klaseng yung manic episodes?
May severe, tapos merong hypomanic na tinatawag. Yung mania in general, at energetic ano.
So, ano yung symptoms na rin ba siya?
Symptoms yan. Kasi tapos wala siyang, partida wala siyang, hindi siya nakadrugs. Pero sobrang energetic niya. Tapos bilis niya magsalita. Parang may ganun yung mga manic na sobrang bilis niya magsalita. Na parang laging hinahabol.
Pero paano mo malaman kung may bipolar ka na? Or paano mo malaman yung pag dumating ka na sa point na kailangan mo magpatingin sa doktor?
Kasi dahil sa madalas nangyayari ito pag meron na silang maraming risky behaviors. For example, like, bilang kaibigan, mapapansin mo na parang hindi naman ganito si Kaya.
Okay.
Lagi itong nag-iinom. Ba't ang laging lumalabas? Bakit lagi itong gustong sumasama sa iba't ibang tao. Hindi niya nakilala. So, manic na siya nun. So, tapos after ng manic, magkakaroon siya ng 7 days na pero very depressed naman, hindi nalalabas. Tapos pag sinita mo siya, magagalit siya sa'yo. So,
Okay.
may irritability siya.
So, yun yung parang trigger kapag...
Trigger. Parang hindi niyo ko naiintindihan na nagiging aggressive siya some point. Nagiging aggressive siya sa mga tao.
Pero sir,
sa
paano,
paligid niya.
ikaw sir, parang in your own perspective, paano mo kaya ma-handle yung ganong klaseng tao?
Una, maintindihan na meron siyang disorder. Yun yung naman talagang, bata pa lang tinuturuan na tayo how to solve problems, di ba?
Mhm.
Ang number one step is to identify the problem. Di ba? Identify the problem, pag nalaman mo na mayroong kang problema or may mali sa'yo or kailangan mo ng help, doon mo na pwedeng tulungan yung isang tao. Sir, yung pinaka-next na tanong, sir, paano po namin tutulungan yung isang tao walang awareness sa problema niya?
Yes.
Pwede mong i-encourage at magsabi at magbigay ng intervention sa kanila na pare parang may mali na sa'yo. Parang hindi na to okay. So pag ayaw pa nila, hindi pa rin nila nakikita, it's really up to them to acknowledge. Kasi at the end of the day, we are people, we experience things. Pag may mali, nilalaman naman natin. Like for example, ang dami mong ng jowa. Tapos pagkagising mo, kung sino-sinong babae or lalaki katabi mo. Kasi nagiging hypersexual din sila.
Speaking of like jowa, sir, alam mo yung movie na Silver Linings Playbook?
Yeah.
So, di ba parang, no, di ba?
Si
yung-
J-Lo,
Yeah,
Jennifer
yeah.
Lawrence,
Tsaka si Bradley Cooper.
Oo.
So, di ba yung story nun parang nag-revolve about, like, parang
Bipolar.
tinulungan nila, bipolar si Bradley as Pat. Tapos parang tinulungan nila isa't isa about their, like, emotional, struggles.
Yes.
Tapos parang, sa part ko lang, yung end ng story nun, parang di ba, nag-confess sila with each other.
Mm.
So, yung ganong klase bang tao na may bipolar, and specifically, like, both parties na may mentally and emotionally not okay,
Mm.
parang nag-work pa kaya yung ganong klaseng relasyon?
Sabi nga ni Because dyan, paano kayo tutulungan kung parehas tayo pasyente? Sa Malboro Black yung kanta.
Lalaki.
So,
Yung sana pala to si Sir.
so then, some point tao pa din sila nagmamahal. And being with someone na share same condition like you, yung diagnosis mo won't define who you are. Hindi siya part ng kung sino ka, but rather a psychological illness or a condition na kung saan meron kang condition. So, hindi ibig sabihin na wala na yung humanity mo pag meron ka ng sakit or na-diagnose ka na. So, para sa akin, challenge siya una. Being in a relationship with someone with different kinds of mental illness, specifically bipolar, double-edged sword siya. Kasi una, if you're someone who are looking for na pwede mong mahalin, ay dapat tanggapin mo kung sino siya. Unfortunately kasi, nasa-sexualize ang mga taong may mental illness. Kasi, for example, hypersexual sila. Sabihin nila, pre, yung jowa ko, pre, ihilang yung, ay nga, pre, lagi kami nag-aano. Tapos, manifestation yung disorder nila. So, I'm not really into that kind of description sa mental illness. Tapos, pag pinakita na nila yung toxic part ng mental illness, sasabihin nila, toxic yung babae niya.
Ang hirap ng dynamic nila pag
Ang hirap. Tapos, pumasok ka dyan eh. Nananahimik yan eh. Tapos ikaw, jujuwain mo. So, it really needs some time to process. And before ka pumasok sa relationship with someone na mayroong mental condition, dapat prepared ka.
Yun nga, parang pares na kayong, alam mo yun, hindi okay.
Broken, no?
Oh, so parang matutulungan niyo pa rin kayo isa't isa to be better?
Yeah,
In what way, sir? Sige nga.
kasi dito pumapasok yung mga self-help group, support groups.
Okay.
Any psychological illness, may support group na tinatawag. Kasi, ito yung kind of good with community, with share same problems. Like, kunyari, keep up fun kayo. Diba, pag nasa group ka na puro isa lang yung ini-stand nyo, you support each other para masuportan yung idol nyo. So ngayon, sa mental illness naman, may mga support groups sa mga bipolar. Kaya Bipolar Philippines, may mga ganun group. So they meet up, then they share yung mga experiences nila. And sharing your own experience with other people is also helping other people and also helping yourself. Kasi may philosophy dyan na helping others is also helping yourself. So pag tinutulungan mo yung iba, tinutulungan mo yung sarili mo. So kahit pa paano meron siyang positive impact pag you share the same experiences. And you all know kung ano yung mga triggers niya. For example, parehas like bipolar. Nagiging manic ka ulit. So I think you should take your medicine. But ako naman, nagiging manic ka ulit. Natitrigger ka ulit. So okay, you should take your medicine. So nagkakaroon tayo ng left and right na batuhan ng alam natin yung sitwasyon ng bawat isa. So it's not quite healthy siya. But if both individual ay una hindi nila alam na may sakit sila, this will end up having conflict all the time.
May mga ganitong organization ba, sir?
Marami sa Facebook. Yun. At nag-evolve na meron na sa Discord. Pero alam ko pinakasikat ngayon si Bipolar Philippines. And then yun, pwede niyo search sa Facebook.
As psychologist,
Mm-mm.
ano kayong mga pwedeng coping strategies na pwedeng may advice sa mga person na may bipolar?
So number one, seek professional help. Bipolar is one of the most difficult and serious psychological illness. Parang ano yan schizophrenia, mood disorder, bipolar, depression, marami pang iba.
Dami pala.
So, ang dami, 265 ata lahat ng mental illness. So, kasi ang problema sa may bipolar, it may result to substance use disorder. So, dati may bipolar ka na naging drug dependent ka pa. So, madalas, mga nagiging pasyente ko sa rehab, meron silang sakit. Kaya lang sila naging drug dependent dahil sa sakit nila. So, ang number one, priority if you have or if you know someone, if you are someone na merong bipolar, I think number one mong priority is not to develop coping mechanism on yourself, but rather to seek professional help from a therapist or a psychiatrist. Pero ako muna, therapist ka muna, then punta ka sa psychiatrist para mag-moderate. Kasi ang mga bipolar one, kailangan talaga nila ng mood stabilizer.
Yes.
Kailangan nila ng mood stabilizer kasi kailangan nilang maging ma-stabilize yung mood nila all the time. Compared sa bipolar 2 na antidepressant yung binibigay. So, yun. So, kailangan mo muna mag-seek ng professional help before ka mag-provide. Ang therapist mo naman mag-provide ng different options na fit sa'yo, individual, na pwede mong maging coping mechanism. Ang number one, at pwede kang generalize na sabihin na pwede coping mechanism ng mga tao may mood disorder or bipolar disorder is, una is, may kinatawag kasing dialectics eh. So, ang dialectics is yung way to identify kung ano yung, una, bipolar, from the words of bipolar, dalawa. So, ang dialectics, na kaya mong i-acknowledge or malaman kung ano yung difference ng bawat isa. So, ang dialectics, tinuturo siya sa pamamagitan ng art, ng talk therapy, narrative therapy, or yung nagkikwento siya.
Anong klaseng art to, sir?
Ang visual arts or merong mga yung pagsulat ng kanta, pagsulat ng poem, etc. Pwede yun. Any kind of art form na kung saan pwede niyang i-express yung nararamdaman niya.
Okay.
At ikwento yung experience niya.
Wow. Music can help pala.
Yung music can help, art can help. Karamihan ng mga musical, for example, Kurt Cobain, meron siyang bipolar 1. Kaya rin siya
Oh my God!
Oo.
Yeah. Isa yun sa pinaka-favorite kong rock idol.
Si Kurt Cobain, meron siyang bipolar. Si Chester Bennington din, bipolar din siya.
Pero sir, may na-encounter ka bang tao na may bipolar? And ano kayo yung worst experience?
Siguro not technically worst experience, but rather a manifestation of their disorder. Una, nagwawala sila madalas.
Okay.
Lalo na pag naiirita sila, like, they really act out, binabato nila yung mga gamit nila sa, kunyari, kung anong mahawakan nila, mumulagin ka nila. Kasi yung irritable sila eh. So, manifestation yan. Worse yun. One time, naduraan ako ng pasyente may bipolar, pero okay lang naman. It's part of my job. Pangalawa, nagiging seductive sila. It's also a manifestation of their disorder. So, nagiging seductive sila sa therapist. So, nagbibigay sila ng sexual cues. So, kailangan, kung magaling ang therapist, hindi aware ka dun. So, minsan, di ba, may mga nakaka-date ka. Are they looking for love or you're just a coping mechanism? Ikaw ba?
Grabe sir. Ang bigat ng mga share mo eh.
Kasi sa pinaka-komplikado kasi.
Yeah.
And I really want to help those people kasi mood siya and mood is irrational.
Ano pa yung mga ibang klaseng...
Kaya may naging pasyente ako, flight attendant.
Okay.
Tapos, siyempre before therapy, merong testing. So sa testing, habang nagpapatest, binibigyan ko siya ng papel, pinapadrawing ko siya, psychological testing. Sabi niya, sir, mag-CR ako, gusto mo sumama. Flight attendant yun. Tapos sabi ko, hindi, okay lang ako. Gawin mo lang yung test mo. So yun, or kukunin mo yung number niya, kukunin niya yung number mo. So hindi mo bibigyan yung number mo. So if you're someone na very ethical in nature, at tinitrain na rin naman kami bilang mga site sa habang nag-aaral pa lang sa MA. Kailangan namin maging keen sa mga ganong non-verbal, yung mga verbal and non-verbal cues. So di ka sisipain yung pang mo, inaanay yung pang mo, hinawa ka yung kamay mo unconsciously. So dapat strong pa.
Yun talaga.
Hindi ka madaling ma-fall.
Okay, sir. Meron pa tayong isang segment for this episode. At dito, we'll read a few confessions today from Reddit. So, una, meron dito, bakit parang ang daming diagnosed na bipolar? It says here, it is possible na overdiagnose ang bipolar dito sa Pinas. I already know 2 people in real life too. And lahat ng sulok ng internet na mapuntahan ko, may magsasabi na bipolar daw sila. Nag-worry lang ako, baka wala talaga akong bipolar and just wasting my money on meds. Thanks. I've been through 3 different psychiatrists din kasi.
So una, 2 is not that statistically significant. May 4 million na may psychological disorder sa Philippines. So kahit pa paano,
That's a lot.
it's a lot. And yun pa yung diagnose na. Yun pala yung diagnose. So, madalas bipolar kasi, ang tinitingnan kasi is manic. So, if you came from a psychiatrist perspective, pag nakita nila manic ka, automatically magte-take ka ng medication for mood stabilizer. Pero kasi kami mga psychologists, we do psychological testing. Kasi, ito, for example, may manic episode, yung pala mayroon siyang ADHD. So, sobrang thorough ng assessment ng mga taong ng mga psychologists in practice. And, marami siya kasi parang sinabi mo kasi na ba't maraming may cancer? Or bakit maraming may PCOS ng babae? So, is there a misdiagnosis doon that magandang PCOS? But it's a manifestation na may problema kung bakit maraming may bipolar kayong kilala. Din sa sinabi niya na am I wasting my money on my medication? Una kasi, medication is not enough to really help you sa pag-manage ng bipolar disorder. Kailangan may adjunct lang ang medication. Kailangan mo magpa-therapy. Kasi kailangan mo i-process kung bakit ka nagkakaroon ng psychological disorder. At magkaroon ka ng skills or coping mechanisms kung paano matutulungan yung sarili mo. Para, ang goal kasi, hindi ka na mag-take ng meds. Ito yung misconception sa pag-take ng medication. Kala nila, pag nag-take ako ng meds, gagaling ako. Hindi po siya paracetamol. Mood stabilizer lang siya. Ibig sabihin, just a manifestation ng isang bagay na tinig mo. So, nagiging energetic ka kasi nag-drugs ka. Ganun din sa medication.
So, sir, how much ba usually umiikot ang medication?
If you go to government or DOH accredited hospitals, they offer free medications for those different kinds of psychological illness like schizophrenia and mood stabilizers or antidepressants. May mga nag-offer ng free sa National Center for Mental Health or any DOH accredited hospital. However, yung mga may brand, like any medicine na may brand, mas mahal siya. It ranges from 1,000 per week or 5,000.
Sir, any thoughts naman sa mga free services from government? Like, ano ba, may recommend mo ba siya?
Yes, nire-recommend ko naman kahit paano yung government. Compared dati, when I was starting my profession bilang mental professional, siguro 10 years ago. So, when I started, hindi pa ganun. And within this 10 years, at nag-change na ng mga generation, they are very much nag-progress na talaga yung iba't ibang perspective. And karamihan kasi ng mga psychologists ngayon, Gen Z na, so
Yes.
naiwan na nila yung perspective nila sa psychological issues from the past generation. So mas effective na talaga ang government.
What do you think about self-diagnosis?
Harmful siya. Harmful siya kasi imagine you're trying to cure your disorder without really acknowledging the fact na baka mali yung disorder mo. And if you're trying to cure something na hindi naman talaga yun yung sakit mo, diba? Hindi ka gagaling. At lalo ka lang lalala. Take ng medication. hindi ka pala, mali pala yung disorder. For example, meron ka palang cancer, tapos feeling mo lang meron ka lang bulutong, gano'n. Bilid ka ng bilid sa araw, or ligo ka ng ligo sa mga dagat, hindi pala, yun pala yung sakit mo. May mas malala pang sakit. And self-diagnosing can result to self-identification. So yun yung pinaka-iniwasan ko, yung ina-identify ng isang individual na ang disorder niya is siya. And bilang mental health professional, we encourage individual na yung disorder nila won't define who they are. So, and unfortunately, karamihan naman nagsiself-diagnose is an act of vina-validate nila yung mga masasama nila, like irritability nila or pagiging masama ugali. Parang it's a way of validating yung shitty personality nila na meron ng disorder. So nagkakaroon ng, wini-weaponize nila yung self-diagnosis nila sa ibang tao. Like, for example, magjowa tayo. Tapos, sinab-diagnose yung sarili ko may bipolar. Tapos hindi mo ako niregaluhan yung anniversary natin. Hindi mo naiintindihan.
Actually, sir, ang daming, I don't know parang but these days, parang ginagawa nilang, alam mo,
Excuse.
card. Like excuse.
Mental health card.
Okay, sir. Thank you for that. And now let's proceed sa second naman.
Sige.
So it says here, trigger warning, bipolar or depression. It says, Merry Christmas, guys. Sorry for posting tonight. Haha. I am recently diagnosed with bipolar disorder. It slowly explains everything in my life. To those who are like me, how do you manage law school? Kapag depressive episode ako, talagang wala akong usad, walang aral, lungkot lang meron. Kung okay naman ako, productive ako mag-notes, digest, at parang ang layo-layo ng mararating ko sa field of law. Medyo third year, medyo fourth year na ako. Pero still asking for advice to cope with my life. Salamat, Merry Christmas ulit.
Yun yung yun yung paboritong part talaga. No? But rather, isa sa pinaka-fascinating part ng bipolarism. Pag manic ka, feeling mo Diyos ka. I can do everything. I'm God. Pero pag depressed ka, parang wala kang ng tao. So, yun yung pinaka-manifestation. So, I think, kung nasa tamang psychologist ka or nagka-undergo ka ng therapy, pwede ko nga tulungan ng therapist mo to build parang alarm, parang siyang, parang ma-identify mo pag, papunta na ako sa manic episode. Or di kaya parang nadi-depress na ako. So, tutulungan ka magkaroon ng coping mechanism na kung saan hindi siya mag-proceed. Hindi siya lumala or hindi siya magkaroon or hindi mag-full-blown manic episode or mag-full-blown depression. So, yung therapist mo magaling, tutulungan ka na iba't ibang skills. Na pag-whereas na depressed ka, may depressive episodes ka, ano yung pwede mong gawin? Ito yung kasi yung tinatawag na behavioral activation. So, ang behavioral activation, ito yung ginagawa ng mga psychologists na tinuturo sa mga tao may bipolar. So, if you are a depressed individual, ano yung pwede mong gawin? Kasi, lalo kang ma-overwhelm at madidepress pag hindi mo alam yung ginagawa mo. Yan. So, isusulat mo yung mga dapat mong gawin. So, yun yung tinatawag na behavioral activation. Pag manic naman, ano yung sa tingin mo yung nagiging manic episode mo? Bakit mo siya ginagawa? At paano mo matutulungan yung sarili mo to calm down at ma-collate yung thoughts na meron ka. Kasi nagkakaroon din ng flight of ideas yung mga taong may bipolar. Like for example, tara, gawa tayo business plan. Di ka gawa tayo business, payaman tayo mamaya, ganyan. Di ka tara, Valorant tayo hanggang alas daw ng madaling araw. Tapos pagkatapos yung Valorant, mag-ML kayo, ganyan. So, dami niyang gustong iniisip. Tapos may marami siyang gustong ginagawa, tapos pag ginawa niya na, di niya tatapusin. Kasi nga lumilipad yung isip niya sa dami ng iniisip niya. So, kailangan niyang isulat yun.
Okay, sir. Ako, I have another question. I'm curious about this and also for our viewers na rin. Simple lang to. Anong pinagkaiba ng therapist, psychiatrist, and also psychologist?
Yan. Yung therapist yung psychology, isa lang.
Oh.
And psychiatrist at therapist, maaaring pwede. So, yan. Pero majority of the time, pag sinabi natin therapist, they are all psychologists. Some psychiatrists, those are the ones who graduate medicine and kumuha ng specialization sa psychiatry. So more on chemical yung approach nila sa mental illness. For example, may depression ka or di kayo bipolar, kasi sila magbigay ng reseta about sa mental illness. So psychologists, they are graduate of psychology, tapos nag-MA sila, PhD sila. So nag-take din sila ng board exam para maging licensed psychologist. So ang mga psychologists, they are the ones para sa psychological assessment at sa therapy, yung usap. Talk therapy or any kinds of non-chemical induced therapy or intervention. So, walang chemical, hindi sila pwede mag-reseta ng medication. So, partner sila, hand in hand. So, ang therapy, ang psychiatrist magbibigay ng medication for mood stabilization, tapos yung therapist yung magpa-process ng thoughts at psychology ng isang individual or psyche ng isang individual.
Okay, sir. Thank you for that.
Dapat sila parehas
Okay.
mag-work. Dapat.
So, for our last confession,
Okay.
it says, I haven't taken my meds in about 2 months now, and I'm really starting to regret it. I ghosted my psychiatrist, and I'm thinking of trying to go back to them, but I feel so much guilt and shame for stopping in the first place. Has anyone else been through this before?
Sobrang live experience yan ng mga taong may mental illness. Kaya hindi nag-work yung 13 Reasons Why na series dati. Kung ilang taon na kayo nun. For sure, bata pa kayo nung lumabas yan. Alam niyo yan? Alam mo yun?
Alam ko yun, sir, pero hindi ko napanood.
Ayan, kasi boring siya in misrepresentation ng mental illness. Ang mga tao may mental illness, they don't blame other people. They always blame themselves sa mga nangyayari sa kanila. So, pero may makikita ka na parang sinisisi nila yung ibang tao. But it's a defense mechanism na ginagawa nila sa sarili nila. So yung guilt and shame is the reason why some people with psychological disorder kill themselves kasi nagsisuicide. Na sobrang taas ng guilt, sobrang taas ng shame, na parang nakakahiya ako, wala akong kwenta, I'd rather be dead. Na mas magiging better yung mundo pag wala na ako. So, yun. So, kailangan ma-process yan kung nga may bipolar ka and driven ka ng guilt and shame all the time. Kailangan ma-process yun kung bakit ka nagkakaroon ng guilt. Kailangan matanggal yung cognitive distortion. So, ang cognitive distortion, ito yung tendency ng mga tao na magkaroon ng core belief or paniniwala sa sarili nila na hindi naman talaga totoo. So, minsan may ganun tayo. For example, anong tingin mo sa sarili mo? Kung kunyari, i-describe mo si Kai.
Si Kai masyadong masayahin eh.
Masyadong masayahin. Bakit?
Kasi ganun yung pagkatao niya, yung character niya. But at the same time, Kai is heavy. I mean, she has heavy problems na hindi niya kaya disclose with.
Okay. So, ganun yung core belief mo.
Yes.
May paniniwala kung sino ka. Masayahin ako pero lumaloka ako. Minsan. So, ganun yung nangyayari sa guilt and shame. May mga paniniwala tayo sa sarili natin na hindi naman talaga totoo. Like, wala kang kwentang anak, wala kang kwentang magulang, wala kang kwentang estudyante, wala kang kwentang boyfriend. But hindi lahat ganun. Hindi lang ganun wala. Lalo na pag mga narcissist, feeling nila sila yung number one sa mundo. Ako yung number one sa buong mundo, ito ang pinakamagaling. So, iba-iba talaga tayo ng core belief. Individually, we share different core belief, pero we all have core beliefs. So, yung shame and guilt, una, yung thought pa lang na na-disappoint niya yung psychiatrist na that she did not come back or hindi ginos niya yung psychiatrist niya. Guilt-driven na yun. So, ngayon kailangan niya, kung may mga pwede naman comment dyan, okay, I think you should go back sa psychiatrist mo or kailangan mong, may tinatawag kasing, dami ko nang tinuturo na, pero may tinatawag kasing Socratic questioning. So, sa tingin mo ba, bakit magagalit yung psychiatrist mo kung hindi ka bumalik or nag-ghost ka? Sa tingin mo ba, mas magagalit siya pag hindi ka nagpakita ulit? So, yung mga ganang question, nag-raise siya ng insight na, siguro hindi naman siguro magagalit yung psychiatrist.
So yung self-guilt, sir, part siya ng, like, with someone na may bipolar?
Yes, part siya.
And yung self-awareness, is it really important?
Oo. And hindi lahat ng self-awareness. It's a curse pag meron kang self-awareness. Lalo na pag meron kang mood disorder or meron kang depression. Kasi pag self-aware ka, minsan, iniisip mo lagi lahat ng kasalanan mo, lahat ng nagagawa mong mali is wala kang kwenta. So, kailangan ma-process. Kaya, kung sasabihin ko rin sa kanya, kailangan niya rin mag-seek ng therapist, hindi lang psychiatrist. Kasi ang mga psychiatrist, hindi rin naman sila makikipag-usap sa'yo. Ang psychologist ang magbibigay sa'yo ng skills sa pamamagitan ng talk therapy at i-process. Kasi rooted yan sa kabataan natin kung paano ka pinalaki ng magulang mo Bakit mo pinipis yung ibang tao, bakit tawad ka maiwan, bakit you always feeling guilty, nung bata ka ba, every time na may ginagawa ka, lagi kang may kasalanan. So, those are the things na kailangan ma-process niya, yung past experience niya para matulungan niya yung current self niya. So example nito is, kanyari yung mga batang neglected ng mga magulang nila. Kaya OFW yung nanay, si tatay, doktor, o di kaya busy lagi sa work. So, ang nagpalaki sa'yo is yung kapitbahay niyo, or di kaya lolo at lola. Pero si lolo at lola, busy sa pagmamadyo mo, di ba, totoong kids. So ngayon, itong batang to grew up being neglected. So every time na nagkakaroon siya ng konting pagmamahal lang, kahit konting affection lang, nai-love siya agad. Kasi yung mga taong neglected or may hindi nakaranas ng pagmamahal, they find love.
Ano siya, sir? Parang na-in-love ba sa idea? Or what do you think?
Gusto niya gusto niyang maramdaman ng pagmamahal. So mahilig siya mag-breadcrumbing. Yung kahit sobrang, ano yun, tawag dun, yung maliit lang yung bagay, yung parang bare minimum lang binibigay sa kanya, okay lang sa kanya. Kasi kahit di mo na ako mahal kita, tapos feeling ko mahal mo, okay din sa akin. Or umuwi ka sa bahay, or di kaya kasama kita kung may okay na sa akin, kahit niloloko mo ako. Kasi I need yung love. So, mas madali silang maloko, madali silang masaktan kasi nga, needy sila sa pagmamahal. Ganun ka ba?
Hindi, sir. So, sir, in general, how do these confessions reflect sa mga patterns na madalas natin nakita with these Filipino patients?
Kitang-kita na mga Filipino, ma-share tayong tao. So, kahit sa online, share natin mga problema natin. So, tayong mga Filipino, nagiging okay lang naman tayo pag may nag-uusap tayo, pag may pagkwentuhan tayo, pag mayroong kausap. So, yun yung nakikita ko na they really need someone to talk to. Kailangan nila nakausap. So, yun.
Yes. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for, ano daw?
Tatlong thank you yun.
Sobrang pasalamat ko.
Grateful yun.
Grateful yard.
Ayun, sir. Thank you so much. And alam mo, para sa akin, itong episode is so indescribable. It is full of insights and syempre, more informational to our viewers and to those people who needed to watch this and also to hear this story of yours. Thank you so much, sir.
Maraming salamat din kay.
And yes guys, matapos natin marinig ang kwento at iba't ibang impormasyon from our expert, Professor Rod Avila, the big question here is, what now? So for me, let us encourage open conversation. A little bit of conversation can be a big thing towards to the person na kinakausap natin. Alam niyo yun, kahit hindi man natin alam kung ano ang nararamdaman nila, but a single good word can change their lives. So let us support our loved ones quietly or even from afar. Kasi kahit hindi naman natin alam ang sasabihin natin, malaking tulong ito para sa kanila. Kaya sa simpleng pagsuporta at pakikinig na walang halong panghusga ay isang pagpapakatao. At syempre, ang buhay social media. As much as possible, let us avoid harmful jokes or labels to reduce stigma and just promote mental health education in schools and communities if we can and if we want to. Today taught us that bipolar disorder isn't a personality flaw, a joke, or an overreaction. It's a real condition affecting real people who deserve compassion, support, and care, especially with our loved ones and also with ourselves. For local hotlines, if you or someone you know needs support, here are local mental health resources in the Philippines. Again, I am Kai, and this is Breaking the Cycle, ang podcast kung saan ang usapan ay totoo, puno ng kwento, at handang makinig sa'yo. See you and stay kind.